You know, it's really special when a D&D party comes together as a group, and I kind of feel like we're starting to hit that stride. So let me tell you all about it. Hello party people. Today, as promised, I am going to do a recap of our Wednesday night game. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, I'm Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D, and we're up to DnDaily number 209 today. This is unbelievable, and I am just thrilled that you have decided to join me for this ride, so thank you. Now, let me get right into this and say this. First and foremost, we're having so much fun playing this game on Wednesday nights. I really encourage you to either come in and hang out with us in the Twitch stream, or by all means check the VOD either on Twitch or on One Crit Wonders YouTube channel, and just enjoy the ride along with us. It has been very fun so far, and I am certain that it's going to get more and more exciting and interesting as the game sessions go on. All right, so I'm going to touch base with a little bit here, some of the high points of the game for me. I will probably undoubtedly miss some, but these are the ones that stuck out for me in this week's session. First and foremost, I gotta say, I really admire our fantastic DM, Bounty Hunter, or One Crit Wonder. He makes these wonderful on-the-fly rulings that just add to the flavor and fun of the game without ever seeming to miss a beat. In this case, one of the players, and forgive me guys, I forget if it was Rathian or Longtooth. I think it was Longtooth. What we encountered were some ochre jellies, and none of the members of the party, none of the characters have any idea what these things are. The dwarves at this excavation were referring to them as oozes, so I think for as much as the party's concerned, that's exactly what they are. But we as players know that they're ochre jelly. So one of the players, and again, I think it was Horemir having Longtooth make this, throw his torch and hits one of the jellies, and Bounty Hunter decides that he's gonna have the damage be 1d4 with an ongoing 1d4 for the next round because it's still in the fire, which I thought was kind of cool. He didn't have to do that. He could have said that, okay, well, you throw the torch at it and it has no effect because it's a torch. But he didn't, and I thought that was super cool. That really stuck out to me, and that really, to me, it's one of the things, I should say, it's one of the things that will make a session really enjoyable when a DM is spontaneous like that. So I should say, actually, that's because, obviously this is our DM, so the whole game wouldn't be possible without the DM. As far as the players go, I gotta say, right out of the gate, Jamril, our bard, Jamril starts reciting. We got into a tiny bit of role-playing at the very beginning of the session, and so Jamril starts reciting this magnum opus poem that he is composing, and it's like the tale of Jamril the Bard and his companions or something like this. So he's working it out and talking about how he's met each one of us and so forth, and it was awesome. I was really thrilled because he actually read this in character, and so what a nice treat for all of us at the beginning of the session. Then, actually, was it even at the beginning of the session? I think it was. Yeah, it was, definitely. So the reason it confused me is because Bounty Hunter had to step away from the table for a moment to check on his little baby, and I was trying to think, when did that happen? So yeah, we opened the session with this cool bit of role-playing from Jamril the Bard. And I also want to say one thing that I really admire about Ben as a role player, Ben the player, I think, and that's of course the curious owlbear. One of the things I think that is really awesome about you, Ben, is that you're so polite, man, and you're so you give everyone else space for their characters, and then you come in with these really fun, funny moments. And one of the sort of now ongoing jokes with Jamril the Bard is that everything he's throwing at these monsters is getting shut down. Our DM keeps rolling these ridiculous like critting on saving throws and that kind of thing. And then even when their attack rolls, for whatever reason, Jamrel keeps missing. So now we have this like ongoing joke that, well, probably Jamrel's going to be the one who saves the day in the end and like destroys the dragon or what have you, but probably by like doing 1 damage or something outrageous like that. So Ben, I really admire Ben and how polite he is, how much fun he is having with like allowing his character to be the butt of the joke sometimes and play along with it. It's really fun and admirable. And another thing that's pretty amazing about this group overall, and especially I want to like make note of Clay, who is of course the DM behind the screen, or Hormir on Twitter. One of the things I really love about this group in general, but also especially about Clay, is Clay, there's no metagaming in your play, and that is outstanding to me. Knowing that, knowing how much experience you've got as a DM, to watch as you're like, he's playing this character who is Longtooth, who is a ranger, who's a seasoned hunter. Like, this dude knows what it's like probably to face down a bear, mano a mano, in a way of speaking, like one-on-one, right? He can face a bear, he can fight the beasts of the woods, and he knows what it's like to live in the harshness of the forest and the mountains. But he's not really seen much in the way of magic, and certainly like manticores and oozes and all of these strange things that are occurring around him are really sort of like rocking the foundation of his world, which is so cool because as a player, I know for sure, I know that Clay knows what all these creatures are and has some sense, if not like absolutely knows what each of them can do. And yet he is absolutely playing Longtooth as if Longtooth has no idea what they are, what they're capable of, and so forth. And that's really cool to me, and it's true from everyone at the table. I guess I've just noticed it the most from Longtooth and from, of course, Clay, because I think it's most obvious in that character, which is really cool. Now, okay, so this week, one of the fun things that happened is we all leveled up. So we're now level 3, which means we got our like sort of, our character class specialties now. And so one fun thing is our Arcanist, our resident inventor, our little gnome friend Zook, made some new inventions, and oh my goodness, I'm just thrilled with these inventions. So we got to see Zook pop out 2 of his new inventions, actually a few of them. He gifted one of these inventions, which was really cool, a nice little moment of role-playing. He gifted one of his crazy gnomish inventions, this bit of magic, to Longtooth, the most sort of like resistant to magic in the group, which was really awesome. And then during the course of the game, he popped out not 1 but 2 of these sort of mechanical constructs, right? So one was this scorpion that was like dishing out damage, which was real cool and very helpful. And then later in the session, he pulled out a giant ant that was basically like a shield generator. Buffed us all with some temporary hit points. Super cool. And the way he roleplayed each of these moments was real fun. And for me, actually, I think even more awesome was the way he described his new crossbow that he sort of tinkered and upgraded. And he upgraded it, and then now it is named the Prismo Zapper 1000. The Prismo Zapper 1000, which was awesome. Great name and just a lot of fun role playing. Oh my goodness. Curtis is playing Rathian, right? So Rathian is, now we know, an Oathbreaker Paladin. So Rathian is an Oathbreaker Paladin. And now we know, one of the things that happened, one of the coolest, craziest, most dark things that happened is like Rathian tore someone's face off, basically, or melted his face off with one of his his new abilities as this dark paladin, this like death knight of a paladin. And so of course fantastic voicing from Curtis as Raytheon, and then on top of it, this like crazy gnarliness as this dark paladin. And one of the funniest moments, I have to say, was actually between the players, because sorry Curtis, you tried to rules lawyer, but you got rules lawyered, and man was that funny. We all make our mistakes, and man, it was so funny. And not only that, he tried to do it to Valerie, which we all had a laugh about. Valerie, his wonderful wife, who's playing Cazador. And Cazador is really, again, I feel like Cazador and my character Illum had this like moment of bonding the last session. Now, whether or not Cazador feels that way or not is probably no, but regardless, Illum, my character Illum, definitely felt that way in the last session. I described that before. In this session, I feel like we're getting this a bigger and broader sense of what Cazador is all about. Because she is just like sneaking off and wandering around. She's curious about everything. She's kind of like this sort of somewhat like an ADD kind of character. I don't mean to make any offense, because that kind of describes me, Gregory, as well. So I feel like this character she's like, just like Illum in another way is really fascinating. But so Cazador is like this, like incurably curious and ultimately sort of like pragmatic to a fault, like will tell you the truth regardless of whether or not it's going to hurt your feelings, and then of course is like wandering off on her own. And I get the sense that even though she's from a tribe, self-proclaimed, like she's told us she's from a wood elf tribe, even though she's from this tribe, she's like this total lone wolf character. So out of character, one of the cool things I hope happens as we see Cazador progress. Gregory, as a player, I would love to see Cazador take a dip into Rogue as her ability, as a level up option, like to multi-class into Rogue, because I think for this character, because she is now she is one of the shadows. She is a monk of the shadows, right? So she took that as her, the way of the shadows as her specialty as a 3rd level monk. And I really dig the idea of a monk rogue who is like this like shadow assassin wild elf, or it's just like wood elf, wild elf, whatever you want to call it. I just think that would be super cool. So Valerie, if you do that, I will not take credit for that. I think it's just a great idea, and I have no idea what Valerie intends to do as this character, if she just was gonna stay full on in the monk role, which is, of course, would be awesome. We'll see. I mean, wouldn't that be fun? I mean, seeing her sneaking around, I almost think that there are probably times when Cazador is like literally moving around on all fours as if she is like an animal or something when she's sneaking around or something. So what fun characters these are. We have such a blast playing on Wednesdays. Come and join us for that. Come join me tomorrow. I'll talk more about D&D and all kinds of crazy RPG stuff. Keep rolling 20s until then. And remember, it's your game. Play your way. Hello, party. I'm getting tangled up in the cord.